By now, you've probably heard my Magic Wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of the series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. I'm Dr. Emily, and on today's show, I'm giving you ways to better give and receive compliments because, hey, it is a communication art form and it makes you feel good, especially if you can take it in. Plus, I'm answering your sex and relationship questions. Topics include how to give amazing compliments and receive them like a pro, because I get it. It ain't always easy. Thoughts on being multi-orgasmic as a penis owner. And what's the real deal with squirting, and can everyone do it? And also the best lubes for those at different stages of life. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's gotta have her standards. Oh my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, check out sexwithemily.com. You can find us on all social media. It is Sex with Emily across the board. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We love seeing you there. Intentions with Emily. So starting this year, I've decided that we should all set intentions before we start listening to the show, or even if you're doing it right now. And what I mean is when you're listening, think about like, why am I listening to this? What do I want to get out of this show? Maybe you just want to be entertained, and that's super cool. Or maybe it could be like, oh, I actually like the idea of compliments. I need to figure out how to take a compliment. I realize that I crave them, but when people give them to me, I just brush them off. Or it could be I just want to be a more thoughtful communicator. My intention for the show is to give you all more communication tools that, help you, help your partner out. Maybe your love language is words of affirmation. I had to find out that like, oh yeah, I am words of affirmation. And so I need that from a partner. So if they're going to give me the communication and they're going to give me these compliments, I have to learn how to take it in myself. All right, guys, enjoy the show. How do you give and receive compliments? So I feel like compliments are so interesting because I feel like we all sort of crave them. Many of us do. Mm-hmm. Or we say we don't because we don't know how to take them. So I think there's some of you like, I don't want a compliment because it feels so awkward. I think that we feel like somehow we're less than, or we should make ourselves small. And when we receive a compliment, we have to say like, oh, no, this old thing, like as women, you're like, oh, I got this on sale. Like if someone compliments your dress, or really, I just threw myself together. But I think it's also how we feel appreciated in relationships. And I think a lot of times we just feel underappreciated. I mean, in a lot of places. And the same receptors, here's the interesting thing about compliments. The very same receptors light up in our brain when we get a compliment are activated when we get a monetary reward. So you get a bonus at work and your partner tells you you're hot. Either way, it lights up.
That.
Or your boss says, good job. So it also benefits. And the more we compliment people, the more it makes us more optimistic as well. Like it actually, it's like, they say it's better to give than receive. Start giving compliments when you're out and about, when you're seeing something that you appreciate about somebody. And I feel like it's funny. So when I was in San Francisco, I was sitting there with my friend. We were sitting outside waiting for an Uber, and there was this really pretty woman. And she was like, she was just this beautiful. I was watching her on the curb. She was talking to this guy. It was like very San Francisco, which is the fleece capital of the world.
Yes.
And she's like wearing a backpack and like a Patagonia, and she had these like leggings on, and she was just so cute talking to this guy. And I just went up to her. I was like, I just want to tell you that I think you're so beautiful. I love your look. She was like 26 years old or something. She's like, oh, wow, thanks. Really? Oh my God, I'm just running around just sweating. I'm like, no, you just look great. I want to tell you. And I was like, I just think when I see something or some woman or some man, anything I appreciate, I want a compliment. I feel like it's a practice to get into, but who doesn't appreciate it?
I love giving and receiving compliments.
Yes.
Like, I'm always like, it makes me feel better to know that also brightens someone's day.
Yeah.
And it's like, because like when I get a compliment, like on my outfit, even, or just like random thing, like I'm always like, thank you so much.
Right.
Like, I so appreciate that, because we're all wearing it to make ourselves feel better. But of course, if someone notices.
Of course, if someone notices, you feel good. You're like, I got so many compliments on this. Like, it just gets a currency.
Yes.
I had an ex-boyfriend who used to call them affirmation nuggets. He's like, oh, you didn't get your little affirmation nugget? I'm like, no, I did not.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. He was like, okay, I think you're great, or you're hot, or you're doing great work. I'm like, thank you. Like, just send me an email. Like, thanks, bud. You know, it's like
through email. I like that too.
It was back in the day. This is the boyfriend I had before texting. It was email, or maybe it was the same time, but we were more of emailers. And he'd send me emails. He's like, here's your nugget for the day. But he would also, so what I want to talk about, you guys, is how to give good compliments. Because I think, if you're not giving them, maybe you don't know how, or maybe you haven't thought about it. So I think this is going to be unleashing a lot for people. Because also, if words of affirmation is your love language, and don't forget that we all want love in all five of the ways, but this is just a great one to learn. And then also we talked about how to receive them, but when you make them sincere, so it has to be genuine, and people can tell when you're not telling the truth, but when you're like really sincere and like specific, I think it's really helpful. So like, come up with something that you truly feel about someone. And like, it also helps you, because if you're like, for example, if you're in a relationship and you like really appreciated that your partner every day this week made you coffee, and like you were just like, usually they don't do that, or maybe it was a few times, you're like, I gotta tell you that I so appreciated the way you got up early and made the coffee. It made such a difference on my way to work that I had it ready to go. Like little things, because sometimes we just feel like, oh, they know I appreciate it. But like being genuine about things that really happened, if you were so moved by something, like let your partner know. I think it feels really good. Right? Genuine compliments.
That always reminds me, though, of like in Mean Girls, when the main character's like, oh, I love your skirt. Where did you get it? And then she's like, oh, it's my mom in the 80s. And then like when she walked away, she was just like, that's the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. It's like, that's so mean. Like,
That's
why
so mean.
give this compliment to brighten someone's day, but then like not really
That's
mean
so
it?
Mean Girls. Because Mean Girls.
Well, exactly. It doesn't, but it does. You know, have you ever gotten a compliment you felt like wasn't real? Like it hits you differently.
Probably, yes, I'm sure I have. Oh, you look so good. That kind of thing. You're like, the person hates you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, you look great. She's such a bitch. Oh my God, I hate her. Did you see her hair? I'm sure that's happened.
Can I just say something, though? Also, I feel like when people have complimented me, it's because something's been different and they may have not actually liked it. Like one day I wore pink eyeshadow and maybe it didn't actually look good, but because it was different, they're like, oh, I like your eyeshadow.
I think, well, hold the phone, because I'm pretty sure that was us and we all loved it.
Yeah. We liked your pink eyeshadow. We don't do that around here.
Well, are you trying to say something right now?
I'm trying to get clarification. No, but you know what I mean? Like sometimes somebody's gotten a bad haircut and you say, oh, I really like your haircut. Maybe you're like, it did look better longer, but.
Yeah. No, but where I thought you were going is those backwards compliments where people are like, or they see you a year later, like, oh, your hair grew.
Right? Like they don't really
like,
say it positively.
They're like, oh, you finally, I'm so glad that, I've definitely, they're like backwards compliments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just glad you're wearing makeup is what you're thinking we're saying. Or something like, oh no, now that she's not. But like, no.
This isn't about me, okay?
I'm just saying, you guys, what is your favorite compliment? What do you guys think about compliments? What is your favorite compliment? Do you give them? Why don't you give them? If you're stingy with your compliments, I want to know why.
Yes.
And you can call me with any sex, relationship, dating question, 888-947-8277. The other thing is, you guys, you have to pay attention to detail. Look for qualities that you like people around you, like practice in your environment. Practice at work, practice. Believe me, people you work with will appreciate it. People in stores I'm from Michigan. Maybe we overthink, like, thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you. But that's actually different than compliments too. So just being friendly, you can also add on like, I like your, like specific, like that's a great bright blue shirt. It really brings out your eyes. Jamie, I love your hair every day. You guys should see Jamie's hair.
Oh,
She's got this amazing, beautiful mane of hair.
It's like big and tough.
Big. All of y'all do.
It's great
Christina's
hair.
like shiny
Christina's got
red
really
hair.
nice big hair.
Kristen's
hair's nice and long and thick and beautifully black.
Oh, geez.
all y'all.
Well, dark brown. but-
Elisa, we got good hair in our
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, your hair is great too.
Oh, thanks.
I was going to tell you that this when you
I
came
have the
in.
new crunchy. Today it's straight.
Today it's really pretty too, though.
That's
I
right.
love
I
it.
told her.
I know.
Yeah.
She's so healthy
I
today.
got in the car this morning. She's like,
Yeah.
your hair looks good. I'm like, thank God. It's like every day you just don't know. I was on a conference call. She picked me up at like 10 to go to a meeting. I was like, I feel I have to worry about the hair now because I didn't have time to curl it.
It looks great though.
Thank you.
No, I really love it.
So I should keep it straight. It's
Yeah.
easier to do it straight.
I love straight. I love wavy. I just think you have great hair. So.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So there you go. I feel good. These same receptors are lighting up my brain as if you paid me $20.
I feel like some people, like, you see somebody, but you, like that girl that you saw on the street, you didn't have to walk over there and tell her. But I think more of us have to do that because we think the compliment in
Yeah.
our head, but we don't actually go and
We
do it
don't
like
do
you
it.
did to that girl on
Yeah.
the street. So
I did. I
you
was
felt
like-
comfortable doing
I did feel comfortable. And she was talking to a guy. I'm like, I know how that feels. Like, have you ever, I've been with a guy and then someone comes up, they're like, I love your outfit. Like, if I'm with someone, I'm like, you know what I mean? And I was like, she's like, they were deciding if they should go somewhere. I was like, I'm just going to go tell her because I was looking at her hair blowing in the wind. She was just really pretty. And I feel like it does feel really good. Like, I know that she felt good. I felt good. It didn't cost me anything.
Yeah, and especially, I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but when like a woman compliments me on my outfit, I appreciate that so much more
Yeah.
than if like a dude
He's like,
did.
hey, nice ass.
Oh,
Nice
yeah.
jeans. Yeah.
Like a chick, like I'm always just like, oh, thank you so much. That's how you know it's like a real
Yeah.
compliment. 'cause
No,
she's-
it's true. I stop people in the airport. I just in the airport. I'm like, love your outfit. Great shoes. Like, even if I'm on the phone, I'm like, great shoes. Like, I feel like I really try to point out to people, yeah, what I like about them. And this, you guys, I don't know. People just don't, though. I feel like there's some people I know. My mom was saying she's a friend. She's like, I've been friends with her for 40 years. She's never given me a compliment. Like, I think we notice when people are like withholding.
Why do you
Yeah.
think they don't? You think that?
Yeah.
I
What
don't
is
know.
that?
I think that people who don't give them maybe have like self-esteem. They never got them, or they don't want to. It's too vulnerable, maybe also to be like, if I give you a compliment, then you're going to have a reaction, and then I'm going to have to engage with you.
Yes.
People, listen. Most of the things that we do that are upsetting other people, I don't think we're all walking around the planet trying to be assholes.
well, not
I think we're all trying to. No, but I think if we knew, like, oh, it's that easy. If I practice giving compliments, it'll actually get easier. Oh, and my partner will like it and they'll feel appreciated, especially if I'm specific. You could even write things down. Oh, I like that my partner did this, or I like that my friend did this. And like, the more specific you are, the more people like will really actually take it in. Like, the more you see somebody, like, you know, I love the way your eyes have that. I remember guys used to say to me, like, you have this green. When they noticed like this brown circle, I don't even know what it is, something in my eyes. There's like a brown circle around the green area. And they were like, I like the way I'm like, oh, it's so specific. They're really looking into my eyes.
Yeah, I feel like it
I
shows
like your smile. You know, the way you laugh is so sexy. Or
It's just nice. Like it shows more interest. I feel like when you know that they're like really paying attention, like their like undivided attention is like on you.
yeah, exactly. We have Vince, and he wants to talk about how he compliments people. Hey, Vince.
Hey,
You're
Emily,
on.
how you doing tonight?
Great. I'm so good tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. You know, this is a great topic because the one thing that I always do, if I get great service, whether it's in a restaurant or if I'm out purchasing something, I always make it a point to ask to speak to the manager. And the first look you get is like, oh, my God, what the fuck did I do wrong? And then when the manager shows up, and I always do the same tagline, I go, do you handle complaints? And they go, yes. And I go, do you also handle compliments? And then whatever the person was, I always make sure that I point out the type of service I got. And what I tell them is, I said, if this person worked in my industry, I'd hire them away from you. And that to me is the biggest compliment I can give somebody.
Yeah, Vince, that is a
And
great. Yeah.
My girlfriend is in the service industry, and when we first started dating and I did that, it just blew her mind that I went out of my way
Yeah.
to make somebody else's day and to point it out to their bosses.
That's really inspiring. I'm going to do that, Vince. I like that. That's true, because I used to be in the service industry. I was a waitress in college, waitress after college. Yeah, you know, it feels good to get those. That's great,
Yep.
Vince. Yeah,
Absolutely.
no, I love it. And then that's how she fell in love with you, your girlfriend. She sees you're a good person with a big heart. I like it. Thanks,
I
Vince.
try.
Yeah, we got to do it, you guys. I feel like I always say it should be easy. I used to always say, like, give your partner 10 compliments a day. I used to, like, early on when I was doing the show, people were like, 10 compliments, that's so many. I'm like, but if you remember to do it once, I'm happy. twice. It just feels good. It lights you up. It makes us feel more appreciated. And I think like give them often. You don't want to hold back at all. And then you also want to be able to receive compliments. That's really hard for us too. Sometimes we're like, oh, I can't receive them. I feel awkward or we feel like we don't deserve them. But I'm telling you, some of the best advice I had about it, and I've learned this, just say thank you and smile. Thank you. Thanks. And then the other trick is when you get a compliment, it's lighting up receptors in your brain that make you happy. Feel it. Like if you can just go, that felt good. And then in your body be like, I feel this compliment. I'm taking it in, letting it circulate through my body. And therefore I feel good. And that's my affirmation nugget.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Just breathing it in.
Breathe in the compliment. Write it down in your journal. Journaling's all the rage right now.
Well, because I feel like when you say like give 10 compliments a day, they're like, what the fuck? But it's not the same compliment 10 times a day.
You look great. You look great. You look great. You look great.
Right, exactly. It's like, okay, then it loses
like your shoes. I like your shoes. I like your shoes. I like your shoes.
Well, because I think that's what people think sometimes. They just be like, I want you to call me pretty, but it's like, no, I want you to just like say nice things to me.
Say nice things. Notice, like, I appreciate the effort. Seems like you had a really good day at work. I'm really proud of you for that promotion. Or I love the way you handled that call. That really sounded great and smart. Like being specific. I think that's something that I've had to work on too. Like I can be like, amazing job, or you're doing great. But people love specific. I love the way you handled that show prep. I like the way you posted that picture on Instagram. I like the way you showed up at work today. And people really do hear it. And if you want your partner to do something and they never do it and all you're thinking is like, they've only taken out the trash once. Well, maybe next time they take out the trash, you're like, oh my God, thank you for taking out the trash. That was not like finally, but like you appreciate the things that your partner does. I'm telling you, we all could stand to feel more appreciated and be more appreciative.
It's funny that you brought that up though about being specific and saying those different things, because whenever someone tells you like, oh, like that video that came out on the app, I loved it. You're always like, oh, really? What'd you love about it?
Yes.
You do that all the time because you want to know specifically.
Oh, yeah. People are like, I love your show. Like, I'll even meet like people when I'm out, like listeners, like, love your show. I'm like, what do you love? What do you hate? I'm like, okay, fine, but what's your favorite thing? Like, I like all of it. Like, this is the podcast for years. I'm like, okay, you love it? Yeah. What's your favorite part? What do you hate? They're like, no, nothing. I'm like, okay, but if you had to change, like, I just want to know. Anyway, I want your feedback, you guys. I always want to make a great show. I always want to help you have the better sex, better relationships. Just be honest and compliment a lot, because I love you and you're looking great today. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into your questions. Let's talk to Joe, 52, in Florida.
Yeah, I got a real quick question.
Okay, Joe.
Hey, how you doing? I got
Great.
a real quick question.
Sure, go
I
ahead.
want the women that are listening to the show to chime in on this one. How do women feel about a man that can have multiple orgasms?
Are you underwater, Joe?
I'm serious. How does that grab you? I mean, the women that are listening.
I think I've been with men who have multiple orgasms, and I think it's great. I love it. They have orgasm without ejaculation. Is that what you're talking about, Joe?
No, I mean literally multiple orgasms.
Oh, that's great too. If they can do 3, that's amazing. Multiple, like one after the next. I think it's a good time. Why not? More pleasure for them. More pleasure for me. I can ask. You want me to ask the women? I will take a poll. I've got 4 of them here.
I've never experienced it personally, but I would love to.
You would kick them out of your bed?
Oh, no. I'd be like,
multiples?
I'm having 5. They should have more.
Exactly.
If they can.
See, Kristen?
Yeah, I mean, what does he mean exactly by that? Like right in a row?
Yeah,
like
in a
he
row?
doesn't need like 20 minutes to like wait, like most guys.
Is there
like,
a refractory period? Joe, what do you mean by the multiple?
No, I mean right in a row. Bam, bam, bam. Right in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard of this.
Oh, I had a boyfriend when I was
down.
25. Every time 3.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Sign me up.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, Joe, no, we don't have a problem with that.
No,
because
love
we're all
it.
good. Thanks, Joe. Did that help you? Does that answer your question?
No, yeah, I enjoy. Amy, I like your show. Emily, I really love your show. I
Oh,
really
Joe.
do.
Thanks, Joe. Glad you like the show. Thanks for calling. Multiples.
Like that.
I would never like limit orgasms.
Yeah.
I would never be like the orgasm police. Like you could only have one orgasm for you.
I mean, I guess, right? Like, I guess the only stipulation potentially is that, like, where is all of this cum going?
Yeah.
I don't mind if it's on my body, but at the same time, I need to know, like, are you going to come 3 times? I need to stay still.
Yeah. You
Oh,
have to
yeah.
put it
You know what I
somewhere.
mean?
Put it in one of those
swallowing.
cum
Do I need to
rags.
keep swallowing? Is it in my mouth?
Yeah.
Like-
One of them I went in my eye. I remember that time. I'm like, it's all funny.
Oh, no,
games
you
till
gotta
the semen-
block
Yeah,
your
I didn't
face.
block. I didn't know to block my face. I was 25. Like, whoa! It hit my eye. I literally, like, my eye was like bright red. And, like, Sorry.
No, that
it's
happened.
Funny games and you get some cum in your eye.
It does sting. It only happened to me once because I let one of my boyfriends because he really wanted to come on my face, and I was like, okay, but only right before we get in the shower, and we're going to dinner after. You're paying for it. And he got it in my eye, and I was like, that was the worst experience of my life. And
just close your eyes.
Again. I did, but it's like, it gets in between.
I get it, yeah.
But then ever since then, though, literally, I've just always instinctively blocked my face. And I see.
Wait, that's sexy. So a guy comes and Jamie goes whoosh. Like,
yeah, I'm just kind of like, like depending on what position we're in, it's almost as if I'm like, like fainting, like on the couch, like in the 1960s, just like,
right.
It's just like, like you can't see it if you're listening, but it's just like over the eyes. I'm just saying.
Guys, multiples are good
that
for
was
all.
A thing people
that
did.
Is hilarious. Yeah. No, my guy. I mean, I just thought it was a youth thing. When you're younger, you can come. There's the refractory period for men, meaning the time it takes to have an orgasm one after another. And next takes a while. I mean, for men, it could be 20, 40 minutes, an hour. You get older, it could be a day. For women, it can be like 2 seconds. Let's talk to Joanne, 45 in Illinois. Hey, Joanne, thanks for calling. How can I help?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
So my my husband's been getting he's been trying to get me to squirt, and is it a thing really? I mean, he showed me some videos of women doing it, and I'm like, okay, fine, but it's just not happening. So does all women do it or some don't? What's the thing with squirting?
I think that it's such a good question, Joanne. I'm so glad you called because squirting's like all the rage. Like I can't tell you how many, just you on the show and my girlfriends I would say in the last year, my married friends, 5 or 6 have been like, so my husband wants me to squirt. It's like a thing, Joanne. So I get you're not alone and it comes from porn. I'm just going to tell you, or just because, people are seeing it now and it's a thing. Can women squirt? Yeah, I believe that you can learn to squirt. I feel like it's definitely through internal penetration. So using a finger or a toy, pressing on like the interior, like the G-spot or the internal internal nerve endings, pressing down on the pubic mound, like right above your clitoris on the outside, where your like pubic hair is. Pressing on that area can help. And just like letting go. Having some towels down and just kind of breathing, having orgasms, letting them kind of go fast and penetrating you. And then using maybe a magic wand for me, and I found many women, when you put the magic wand over your pubic mound, it's a great sex toy. One of the first.
I've been really interested in getting that. The more you talk about, the more I really want it.
Joanne, I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. It's always my standby. Like I've been getting sex toys for 20 years and that's the one. Like if you don't have one, I say invest. It's not even that much money. It's worth it. Think of how much you'll use it. I think you'll like it. There's 3. Okay. Okay, Joanne, let me know if you squirt. Don't put all the pressure on yourself, but figure it out together. I think it'll happen.
Well, I know he's been trying all different things. I mean, it's fun. I say, well, practice makes perfect. I'm not saying I don't like it, but sometimes I'm like, is that a real thing or is it? Because I've seen the thing on porn. I'm like, maybe they're just fake. I don't know. Yeah, some of them just really shoot out. Like
that's not going to happen to all of. You're not going to shoot out like gushes of the first time. Like they know they know when they're going to squirt, and then they've literally trained their bodies. Like this is when I'm going to thrust my pelvis up, make it look like squirt, and maybe there's some kind of fucking gun there, like a water gun underneath them. We don't know. Right, Joanne?
Right.
Just do you.
That's what I said.
Yeah. We don't know what's real and what's not. But you're welcome, Joanne. Let me know how it goes. I will be here for you. Now I want her follow-up squirting call. Who else can Joanne call back and be like, guess what, Emily, I squirted. And let's talk to Dawson, 55 in Texas. Hey, Dawson, what's going on? How can I help?
Hey, great. Thanks for taking my call. Question, what is the best lubricant for my wife and I? Someone who's post-peri or postmenopausal for intercourse.
Uh-huh.
And 2, why would she be experiencing pain that doesn't permit full penetration?
Dawson, because for many women who go through menopause, they start to experience more pain because the vaginal walls become thinner. There's less estrogen. And so it just sort of atrophies. And so this means that she could go see a specialist around that pain. So this is what happens to many women at this age. Late 40s, 50s, they get drier, and then there could be some pain during sex. Okay, so I would recommend that she goes...
Then?
Say this again?
Lubrication, then. What's the best lubrication?
Okay, all right. So listen, I think you're a couple, you've been together a long time, you're not using condoms. I love Pure, PJUR. They make, because it's a really good, like if she's sensitive at all, they make a great women's formula. That's a water-based lube. It's called Women's Nude. And then we'll also put this in the show notes. And then there's the
Women's
pure silicone nude, like naked but nude, Women's Nude. It's PJUR.
Okay.
And then there's also pure silicone lube we love. Or I also like, so yeah, anything by Pure I approve of. I love Uber Lube. Uber Lube is a beautiful, like a glass bottle that you can just leave on your nightstand. And it's just silicone, has one ingredient in it, and it lasts a long time. It lasts a lot longer than water-based. We have to keep reapplying. We really love Uber Lube. That's great for sex, especially if she finds that she's been really dry. You can also try Foria. Here's the other thing I would recommend, Dawson. Foria makes a CBD like pre-lube it's helped a lot of women with pain. You can rub it in, she can rub it in to her vagina about 20-30 minutes before sex, and for women, for any sexual activity, and for some women it's help with pain.
How do you spell the first part, Foria?
Foria. You got it, Dawson? It's on our website too. We can put it in the show notes at sexwithemily.com in the show notes. Just go there right now. We'll put it for you. Thanks, Dawson.
Awesome.
Appreciate
it.
Of course, I'm here for you. It's easy. I got you. But it does suck, you guys. A lot of women are going through pain. 80% of women experience pain at some point in their life during sex. And they're just like, it's just another thing. My whole life has been pain. Or, just cramping, or sex is supposed to be bad. But you don't have to live like that. Women, you can get, there's like bioidentical hormones for many women that works. There's things like, pelvic floor physical therapist if you've had pain at any age. It's not just women going through menopause. For many women, they have vaginismus, or they just have other things that it could be some trauma to the vagina. So you go in and you just work with a physical therapist like you would if you hurt your back. Let's talk to Carol, 55 in California, because she wants to talk about breathing during sex. Hey, Carol. Thanks for calling.
Hi.
Hi
there. Thanks. Hey, I just want to say I'm 55, and I used to struggle just to have one orgasm. And ever since I started deep breathing, I usually have 3 orgasms each time.
Yeah, right?
It's amazing. Who knew that just breathing would help?
Exactly. So, right, Carol, that's it. So how did you learn that? Were you like just taking more yoga? Oh, that's so nice. I was like, did you start doing yoga more often? Like for some people, like I thought, that's amazing. Carol, I'm so happy. Yes. Good, right?
Me too.
That's it. We didn't even plan this. She's calling right after Josephine. Josephine, the breath works. Wow, Carol, that's amazing. Yeah, right? Deep breaths. Is that what you did? Just deep, breathe in, breathe out, and then you're like, oh, there it comes.
Yeah, very deep breathing, and I think I was just holding my breath, and
a lot of us do that.
So it's amazing. I'm happy.
Oh, yay, Carol. Thanks for calling. Thanks for sharing that. I love it. Thank you. See, it works. Sometimes I'm like, oh, they want something more complicated. I will give you my special breath recipe. Just breathe.
Your breath recipe comes with a list.
Really? I'm talking in a breath. Like, because I think they would want a whole fancy, it's going to be, do this whole trick. Like, just breathe.
Really, though.
And actually, that helps with stress, and it helps before you go on stage to speak, or before you go into that meeting, or before you walk in the office, or walk in the door at the end of the day. Like, breathing's just super helpful.
It does.
Let's talk to Christy, 55 in California. Hey, Christy, thanks for calling.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Hi. I had so many things to say to you tonight. I had to call back.
Okay, I'm so glad.
So
What's up?
I wanted to tell you something funny about the sex toys. So I'm 55. I never had sex toys before until I met my husband 7 years ago. And one of the first gifts he gave me was a couple of sex toys. And I was so upset with him. I said, how do you give that to a girl? And the first present, and then he gave me roses, said sorry. And it's funny because now we have like a whole kit under our bed.
Yeah. So, that's usually what happens.
He said, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, right. He just was so excited. He goes, I just felt like we were going to be in this relationship. I could see it going somewhere. And I don't know, I got ahead of myself and, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, no problem. So since then, we use them, and it makes it so much more enjoyable.
Right. I love this, right?
Just having that variety.
I love that, Christy. It's so true that a lot of us, our first thing is, oh, I don't need that. Or, oh, like men feel bad, like, oh, she doesn't have an orgasm through my penis and there's a problem. And that's probably you had never used them. You're like, what does this say about me? We all automatically think it's an affront. But I always say that most people I've mentioned it to or got a sex toy, they never like, why'd you make me get the sex toy? It usually ends up pretty good for both people or for everybody. I love it.
Exactly. And I wanted to ask you a question. You had mentioned the womanizer and that Tango, We Tango.
Yep.
So we were in Vegas 2 weeks ago, and we went to one of those stores. We spent $400, and we bought those 2 items. So the womanizer, while it's great, twice I almost like wet the bed, like it made me have to pee. And I always try to empty my bladder prior to, having sex or masturbating or whatever. What can you say about that?
Well, it probably was female ejaculation.
Yeah.
So I believe that
really?
Yeah. I mean, you were probably squirting, as the kids say. Yeah, squirting.
Because I do know how to do that.
Well,
but I didn't realize that. Really? So then I was afraid that I'm like holding back because I'm like, oh my God, I'm feeling this.
No, that's
sensation.
really common for many people to squirt with the womanizer. It's pretty cool because it's really tugging on, blowing on all those, sucking on all those nerve endings. Yeah. And sometimes it does feel like you're peeing, but you empty your bladder. So you're not urinating. It's not that. There are traces of urine. People always want to ask me about that. Like, is it urine? Is it not? It's like, first of all, it doesn't really matter. Can we get over it? Like, does it feel good? Did something come out of you? Put down a towel. Can we not talk about it? Sure, you'll find traces, but I'm telling you that's not, it's a different experience. The orgasm, the squirting.
And then, right? Yep. Okay. Because, Okay.
I gotcha.
And then the Tango, I bought that. I think the bullet, Doc Johnson's bullet, is actually a little more powerful.
Oh, then the Tango.
I'm giving you my feedback.
No, I love feedback.
Yeah,
Doc Johnson's bullet. Okay.
Like,
all right.
That one is great. And then I accidentally threw out the power cord that came with the Tango. Do you know how I would go about getting another one of those?
Oh, the Tango from WeVibe.
Having to spend like $100.
I wonder if you could call them. I mean, honestly, let me think about how
the manufacturer.
Yeah, you could contact customer service. We're going to put the number in the show notes, and you could tell them Sex with Emily sent you. See if they'll give you something for it. If not, call me back.
Okay, because you recommended their product.
I did. Yeah,
great.
But don't blame me. Tell me you love it, but you want the... I love their products. Everyone recommends their products. They're amazing. Okay, Christy, thank you.
Because maybe that was part of it, because the charger, it was like losing its power.
Yes, because I got to tell you, for me, that bullet, I bring it on every trip. It's in my bag. It's in my shower. I freaking love that bullet. However, when it dies, it's like, zzz, zzz, that's how I know it's like not as strong. So that's how I know when to charge it, because it's still pretty strong, but it's not as strong. So I would just charge it and get that charger and then let me know what you think. Because to me, it's the craziest and most amazing bullet. So thanks, Christy. Thanks for calling. Keep me posted. Let me know how it goes. Please rate us, review us, wherever you're listening to the show. That totally helps us. Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes. Leave a comment there. We love that. And also sign up for our newsletter on our website, because you're going to love our newsletter. And we have some exciting announcements coming up. And thanks to my amazing team, Ken, Kristen, Elisa, Bryant, producer Jamie, and Michael. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.